So the streamlined assessment is one of the tests that we've been trying out in Aberdeenshire. And when we were looking at some of the where drift and delay really happened, a lot of it came from the workers' sense of the assessments that they had to complete and the multitude of assessments that they had to complete. So when you're going to an options appraisal, you were bringing your parenting assessment, your options appraisal, your contact assessment, your sibling assessment. These were all separate standalone documents that in essence became War and Peace for the workers to write. So it was changing some of the workers' thinking as well, and that culture, that whole culture, that once a child is accommodated, you suddenly are asked or tasked with writing a parenting assessment. And it was trying to get people to realise that no, you're not tasked with writing a parenting assessment. You've done that, you've assessed that this child can no longer stay at home, and that's the evidence that you've had for the child being accommodated. Now what you're tasked with doing is assessing the parent's capacity to make those necessary changes for that child to either be rehabilitated home or for other permanence plans to be made, and taking parents alongside you on that journey as part of that capacity assessment. So it has been really difficult to I think get people to start thinking like that. So although I haven't been instrumental in designing the streamlined assessment, what I did within my team is I asked a couple of the workers whether they would try it out, which they did. It's taken a lot of kind of jiggery pokery to get to where we want it to be, but I think we've taken 3 assessments now to options appraisal, and the feedback both from legal, because we took it to legal first to say, is this enough evidence? Because essentially what we have now is, instead of having 50 to 60 pages of various documents, we now have a document that's streamlined into about 30 pages. So the feedback from legal, the feedback from the review managers have been very positive, and what they've said is that it actually reads very well, that it's very not just streamlined, but flows very well, and the story of the child is told very well through that one document. I think it will help speed up the process in that, coming to options appraisal, some of the drift and delay was that these assessments all hadn't been completed because people felt there was so much work to undertake, and it was almost like they were starting again to undertake something new. But whereas they've done the work, they've done the bulk of the work, and it was building on what they have. And often reviews would be delayed or asked to be continued because all those documents weren't being produced. And what I've always said is that or people felt that they had to have certain things there, but it's the right documents that need to be there. It's not you have to do this just because that's what we do. It's you have that work there, so it's about producing just what they need to.